7 years ago, I had dreamed about owning a sailboat. And during those 7 years, I did not only dream about it, I actually prepared myself for this moment. The story that I most often heard about was people buying a sailboat without knowing how to sail. And yes, it's very impressive. It's also very dangerous in a way. I did not grow up learning how to sail from childhood. Instead, I actually thought it was very boring. Until the moment where my cousin took me on a trip to Croatia to go sailing there. And there I fell so deeply in love with sailing. Turning circles on a lake or on the ocean, sailing without really going anywhere did not seem like anything that I was interested in. It did not make sense, at least to me. But sailing in Croatia, using a sailboat as a means of transport, as a means of adventure, to explore, all while having your home with you, I was just hooked. So I got started at my local sailing school in Switzerland, got my ocean license and the lake license. I went on many trips on the ocean to get comfortable on a sailboat, and also rented small sailboats on the lake to just learn everything about how sailing actually works. Well, until I reached a point where I felt I needed to take the next step. So I packed my bags, left Switzerland and started working on sailboats in Denmark and Mallorca. And because I had the lucky chance of joining a sailboat going from Tromsø to Svalbard, I completely fell in love with Arctic sailing and decided to continue to learn on sailboats in Tromsø. Well, until I again had the feeling that the next step needs to happen. And that was last year when I decided to buy Mildrid, my very first own sailboat. And now I am renovating the sailboat, and I'm learning so much about the process of maintaining a boat, repairing. I have to look into every single corner to understand what she needs and whether she's seaworthy, because right now I cannot go out sailing yet. On the bow, we don't have any anchor, we don't have any winch, we don't have any chain, because it was taken off. Because the anchor winch was not working anymore, so I needed to get a new one, and then the chain didn't match with the windlass because it was way too small, it was only 4mm, so everything's coming new. The deck got a little bit cleaned up, I closed a few holes there, but something that I still need to do is check the rigging, because that does not seem to be completely right. Something is off there. But in order to not get myself overwhelmed in the process of renovating this sailboat, I had told myself I will split it up in 3 milestones. The first milestone was to make her an apartment, because over the winter I needed to move on to her, live on her, and she had a lot of mold on the inside. Several leaks where water was just pouring in. It was not an apartment, it was not a place where I could live, so that was priority number 1. Milestone number 2 is something that I'm now starting to work on, and that is to make her a motorboat. And then the third milestone will be to make her a sailboat, and that's where I'll be having to check the rig and probably replace a few lines, servicing the winches and all the fun stuff. In addition, there's also a radar installed. I have no idea if it's working, I did not try it yet. That will come when I need to make this a motor sailboat. I think it will come later in the motorboat process. Apart from that, because I love ice bathing, there's a ladder on the stern that I had to reattach, and just a regular cockpit. But I think the cockpit is very nice for me, being a sailor that will probably be sailing single-handed a lot, because it feels so safe as it's a little bit deep in. It's not so easy to just simply fall out. Going inside, I love because she has these beautiful doors. I like that I don't have to pull out wooden plates every single time. I just have these regular doors that shut very well, and I can close with a hatch the little air gap here, or I can push it open, have a little bit more airflow. So once you come in, there is a couch right here, which can transform into a bed. But this is a really cold bed. There's some air drop there, and I still have to solve all of that, because also some leak and things, and there's cold air coming from the ground here. It's just very different setup than the other areas. So my brother slept here a couple of times until I had other beds ready, because we first needed to build beds. And then this one was not used anymore. I think it's mainly storage. I have a lot of storage behind here and also in the corner. And I'm not sure how I'm going to use it. Maybe as a bed, I have no idea. But for the moment, it stays as it is. Now to the part that I have been skipping in all the previous videos, because I was just still very uncomfortable with it. That is everything that is below there. I have called it a black hole because there's a lot of important stuff in there that can make a lot of things happen. I just didn't know anything about it. But that also comes now with the point of making this a motorboat. So I needed to open this up. I have some electricians who are coming over to look at the batteries and everything. And we also looked at the motor to get an understanding of how everything functions and to order spare parts so that we can do a big engine service. And I forgot to say, on this side, there's also a bunch of storage, of course, in the nav desk, but also below, in this area below the nav desk and in these two boxes there. But for the moment, I'm basically not using any of the storage options on the boat because I don't have a leak close that is all the way around the boat. It will happen very soon, but until then, everything is out in the open, so I'm trying to not have too many things on the boat because it will just be immediately messy. But once I have the leak closed and I can use the storage on all the sides, then I will probably move on board, I think. Then coming down from the deck salon into the living room. I think now this is where most of the work has gone into over the winter. It was not a lot that I did to make this an apartment. It could have been definitely more, but over the winter I was so overwhelmed with everything that I just kind of did the bare minimum to not overwhelm myself, to just make this a place where I can live. And it was fine. It worked fine. And then, of course, everything needed to be cleaned and some things needed to be built again. And I insulated some areas, or the areas that I got access to, with some very basic, cheap, not the right insulation, because there's still water coming in and I don't want to ruin the actual good and expensive insulation. In order to get all the smell out of the boat, I cleaned everything and replaced all the carpets on the boat. I did not yet replace the curtains because luckily they don't smell that bad, but it will be a project that will be coming soon-ish. For now they're fine, so I just let them be. And then on the other side is the galley. I have always liked sailboats with the setup of the galley on the side, even though of course if there's movement it's a little bit more difficult to kind of stay in place, but it's a small boat. It's only 33 foot. I think I will have always something to lean on to stay safe. There's 3 components to a kitchen that need to be working. One is the fridge, the other is the stove, and then the sink, the water, and that one does not work. In the next room, there used to be another sink and bathroom setup with shower and everything, but because of all the moisture problem in here, I decided to rip it all out, also because I needed to access the area behind, as there was a lot of mold there and there was no chance of unbuilding that so that I could put it back in place. So luckily I didn't even really want to have a shower on here in the moment, and I can always put it back in if I want to. But what I needed much more was a wardrobe, and it's just a provisionary wardrobe. It's not the final one yet. I needed to test a few things, and of course it still needs to be made sea-proof. On here I still want to add another layer, and of course these are not, they're not even fitting. It was just some old wood that I had laying around, which luckily worked out well. But now I'm gonna add another layer below so that I have 3 layers of storing things, and that I have this layer open so that I can actually put things there, and maybe even install another sink. The toilet has been kind to me so far and worked like a gem. What am I supposed to say about toilets? And last but not least, the project that I am the most proud of. My brother and me built a new bed because with all the mold that was on here, I had to take the whole bow cabin out. This was the most infested area. Well, actually the saloon as well. No, there were so many places. Just the whole boat. But the bed is now in the whole bow cabin, which was not the case before. Before it was just a small, tiny bed on the side. I have provisionally, I don't know if that's the right word, insulated the walls and have been living in this silver hole. But I have been sleeping really, really well here. I like it, and I have a lot of ideas of how I will make this cozy once the leaks are closed. I just need to close them first before I put anything on the walls here. Otherwise there's just a big rain coming, even though I have tarps over the leaks, and then everything just gets ruined. I don't want that. What I did so far to make this silver room a little bit more comfortable is I added curtains. The only curtains that I actually already did, because also it's the midnight sun already here, so there's no darkness. And sleeping when there's light all the time, or when the light then changes, I just wake up at 3 a.m. 4 a.m. It does not work. So blackout curtains had to come in. They're also still not finalized. It's all just projects. It's all just me trying things out, seeing if it works, and then doing it over again and doing it right. But it's fun. And another thing that makes this cabin, this bow cabin, so cozy is this amazing curtain here that keeps me from the anchor locker. I took the whole anchor locker out. Again, mold, but also leaks in the anchor locker and taking the anchor winch out and everything. Lots of work. I didn't put it back in yet. It is built, it is prepared. It will come in once the new windlass is installed. This way I still have all the access, and then I need to install the wall only once. Until then, curtains it is. I am so looking forward to the moment where this feels a little bit less like project and more like boat, but also I'm really enjoying this process right now, and I'm so grateful that I have a project boat currently, that I have so much to do, that I have always something to do and something to tinker on, and I can just choose if it's more difficult, challenging projects, or if I do something small and easy. But you know what is the best part on the boat? Keeping the best for last. It's not something I think most people would consider the best thing, but as this is still just an apartment, the best part is that this bed was built with an open structure, with the idea that this way the mattress will not get moldy, it will always have air circulation. But I had some moisture building in the front, so I had to put a heater under the bed over the winter, and somehow it ended up heating the mattress, so that every night when it was cold outside, I was getting into a warm bed. I love that so much. I hate getting into a cold bed, and that was just, I was looking forward to that every single evening. Also, the bed was built in a way that each area can be taken out, so that I can start building storage under there once I need to and once I have everything sealed around. This is Mildrid, 8 months after I bought her, after a very cold and long and dark and snowy winter up here in the north of Norway. And now it's time to get her to be a motorboat and to hopefully go out this summer. Cross your fingers for me. I really, really just want to get going and be enjoying the amazing nature we have up here. Thanks for watching.